Hello and welcome back to Shulchan Aruch HaRav. We continue in Netilas Yadaim, Siman Kuf Nun Test. We pick it up with Sif Vav. Lefikach. Therefore, based on what we were saying before, Megupa Shel Chavis, the barrel that has a plug in it, Sheish Ba Beis Kibble Revias, and it's large enough to hold. The barrel is large enough to hold a revias of water. Ein Nightly Mimena. You can't use it for washing chada because it's too pointy. The Ein Mekabel is revias Shalei Misumechas. It cannot hold the revias without being held up because it's got a point at the bottom and it's not flat. The Imher Chiva Milamata. If you widen the bottom in some way, add it on wood or whatever, that it would now hold a revius without being supported by something else. It sits there by itself. Then you could use it for washing. Even though initially it was not made to hold this water, el lekisu, it was made like for a cover. Now that it is fixed in such a way that it could actually hold water, it's usable. Aval kol kisu shelei tiknu lekabola. Any lid that was not made for holding water, even though it is large enough and it would be sitting on its own, without being supported, like for example, kisu kaisais, like lids for cups that might have basically will have a receptacle in them with the maim or other things similar to that. You cannot use them for washing. And some say this lenient, but kol kisui, they're lenient with any cover, but kisui keilim, any cover for a vessel. Loimar, to say shehem chashuvim asuyim lekabala, they are considered made for receiving, for holding water. Because sometimes you might put a little liquid in there. And even if it's a lid of a container that cannot stand on its own without being held up, it's still usable. The reason it can't be held up because it's pointy. At the bottom, it comes to a point. For example, kisu kideir, like the pot lid, or other things like this. Sometimes it is intended to use by like turning it on its bottom, on the bottom of the pot. I'm sorry, yeah, you turn it on the bottom of the pot, upside down. You've done that. You've seen that before, where the lid of the pot turns over and there's a little receptacle now. Well, and maybe you put a little gravy in there. You could use it for washing if you could stay up without being supported by something else. Even though it was never made for holding water. For example, like now it can be held up. It can hold itself up without tipping and without being supported because, like, you remove the pointy part. But some say you should be machmir. The Shulchan Aruch HaRav is passing, and you should be machmir, like the first opinion, that if it was not made as a receptacle for water, it should not be used unless it holds itself up without being supported. Have a great day.